All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great session with the presidential candidate of the fictional Common Sense People's Party. Now, a lot of reactions have followed the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. But first of all, the judgment was a fraud, no doubt. But the major questions have been, is there any hope for a...
Hello guys, if today is the first time you are coming across my YouTube channel, please kindly hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up so that if we post any new video, you will be the first to be notified. God bless you, and as you do so
today, and sent a very strong message to his supporters. He sent a message of hope and a message of commitment to carrying on the course that he started and will be leaving. But before I show you that message, let me quickly show you this video, an interview of Aisha Yusufu on Arise. This video addresses a very hopeless and nonsensical line of argument that emerged on social media recently. Watch the video, then I'll explain afterwards.
It was overwhelmingly clear that the party worked. Indeed, yes, I believe that. And there were a lot of things that were put before them. What they decide to use, I don't have control over that. Nobody has control over that. They are the ones who have control over what they're going to admit, they are going to allow to be admissible in the court as evidence, and what is not going to be allowed to be admissible in the court as evidence. And that's where transparency comes to play. That's where when people were asking for that live transmission, there's nothing wrong in having put out that live transmission, so that every one of us would have sat here to be able to say, oh, even before the judgment, to say, oh, maybe they didn't put out enough evidence, or no, they had enough evidence, and all of that. And also, like, just to add to it again, as I'm talking about transparency now, is the fact that all eyes on the judiciary became something that it became almost as if I don't know, almost a crime. What is wrong with people saying we want to put the judiciary on the spotlight, we want to check the judiciary? And I think this was an opportunity for the Nigerian judiciary to actually welcome the scrutiny that is coming from citizens, because for the first time, citizens now seem to be interested in the things that are happening in it, and it was really important for that. But unfortunately, you saw a situation whereby the justices, there was anger, and I think the female amongst them, I'm sorry, I don't know, I don't have her name, where she was saying that, oh, people think they can stay on social media and intimidate them. Nobody is intimidating you. What is being done is that people are saying, let's put an eye, let's scrutinize, let's see what. That's what being an active citizen is all about. That's what occupying your office of the citizen is all about. To put an eye on the different aspect of governance that is happening and follow it through. And at the end of the day, for me, on that day, was also the fact that in that room, getting to the court, everywhere was cordoned off. Armed security agents were all over the place, cordoned off the place. And then when you got inside the courtroom also, there were so many from the executive, even though to me, this government is an illegitimate government. It didn't win the election, and that's my own personal opinion as Aisha Yusufu. And you had the NSA, the chief of staff, the vice president, of course, who should be there because it's also one of the respondents, and all manner of people being there. The national security advisor was in the courtroom, and yet the justices didn't feel intimidated by all of this thing. It's just citizens who are on social media saying, all eyes on the judiciary, don't drop the ball, keep focusing on them, that became the ones that were intimidating. That I found was a bit baffling, honestly.
Right, you heard her. She said the judges were angry that Nigerians were interested in the tribunal judgment. Nigerians were saying all eyes on the judiciary, asking for live transmission, and that made the judges angry. Is that not absurd? And this new school of thought is saying that the judges ruled against Peter Obi because of his supporters, because his supporters were too loud on social media. That is a big lie from the pit of hell. Obedience, don't let anyone try to share the burden of blame or their burden of guilt with you. If the judges still have consciences and their conscience is beginning to judge them, don't let them use you to find peace, because they will never find peace. You did nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong in demanding for justice. There is nothing wrong in calling out a criminal. There is nothing wrong in asking for electronic transmission. There is nothing wrong in asking for the right thing to be done. There is nothing wrong in asking for an INEC chairman that rigged the election to be brought to book. You did the right thing. It was the judges who connived with APC members to rubbish the Nigerian constitution, and only they and they alone will take the blame. And when the consequences of their actions come, because the consequences will surely come, only they and they alone will face them. Now, let me show you the message of His Excellency Peter Obi to his supporters. Look at how the papers reported it. Despair, surrender, not an option. Peter Obi tells supporters after defeat at election court. No be defeat, after he was rigged out at election court. From the onset, I told you that the journey upon which we were about to embark was not a short sprint, but a long and tough marathon. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the February 25th, 2023 election, Mr. Peter Obi, has called on the members of the obedient movement and the generality of his supporters not to be depressed by last Wednesday's ruling of the Presidential Election Petition Court, stressing that the dream remains alive and is only deferred. Obi, in a message to the obedient movement and his numerous supporters at home and in diaspora, who must be feeling forlorn and disheartened, said, "Despair is not an option." Understandably, there has been a note of general disappointment within our fold and indeed the general population of Nigerians who hoped that the outcome of the February 25th presidential election would usher in a new and different Nigeria of our dreams. That dream has only been deferred for now, but remains alive for all times. The LP standard bearer noted that since the tribunal verdict, there has been a note of general despair among obedience and the generality of our supporters. But let me assure us all that on this journey, despair or surrender is not our options. He said, "Today, I want to personally reach out and encourage you all to keep hope alive. Considering the challenges that lie ahead of us as a movement, despair is not an option. Nothing good in life comes easy. Throughout history, positive change comes only with sacrifice, perseverance, resilience, and fluctuating fortunes." Right from the onset of our journey, I told you that the journey upon which we were about to embark was not a short sprint, but a long and tough marathon. It was always going to be difficult, painful, and excruciating. We set out knowing fully well that the forces we are up against are entrenched and formidable, but not insurmountable. They would resist the wind of change and try to push us into surrender or despair, but we must not succumb to their design. I am inspired that we have endured the odds placed in our way at every point. In such a short space of time, we have persevered to get to the point where we cannot be ignored any longer. Therefore, I urge you to abide and never think of giving up. Obi assured them that rather than being downcast, our recent disappointments have inspired me to rededicate myself to the cause of building a new Nigeria. For me, rescuing Nigeria is a lifelong commitment, and on this journey, we shall be resolute but orderly, principled but lawful. I assure you that we shall persist with even greater determination and zeal until we get to our destination. Nigeria must belong to all Nigerians and not to a select few, the LP presidential candidate added. Oh, Peter Obi, anytime wey this man talk, e dey always give me joy. Now,